Hi folks, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining. So today I begin construction on my greenhouse. The design that I've chosen is an A-frame for its strength and the amount of stuff that you can actually put in a greenhouse, in an A-frame structure. So I'm very excited. I've made quite a few design choices that I'm very interested in sharing with you folks as we go through it, that I'm hoping that'll help you when you do your greenhouses. So let's get going. Okay. And I hadn't planned on going on camera today, but projects are piling up, so it's time to get the camera turned on and get you guys caught up to what I'm up to. So what's going to happen is, as I put in the thumbnail and the title, is I'm going to build a greenhouse. I'm going to build an A-frame greenhouse, and I'm going to include many features that you hear about and all that are on my wish list of things that I want to in my greenhouse. Some of the things are going to be, it is going to be a vertical garden inside here. Okay, so it's going to be slanted vertically all the way to the top. It's going to go 12 feet high, folks. So there's no small greenhouse that I'm doing here. It's trom walls for heating. It's going to be double glazed polycarbonate with the spacing in between that I'm going to use both for summer cooling and winter heating. So I'm going to build that system, and you get to watch all of that. Now, right on the heels of that, I need to get something else going on, and that is a solar panel system. And I've got pretty much all the components that I need already in, so big projects are building up. And I had a big day planned. These are very nice. These are from Rich Solar. This is a 200 watt panel. I'm very happy with the quality of workmanship on this. I'm thrilled, along with the other parts, the battery, the inverter, the charge controller, all bear the Rich Solar name. So you know these components are going to work at their best, their most optimum together. So I highly recommend constructing a solar system like that. Okay, now, all of that changed this morning. I have a humane mousetrap, and it caught a mouse. And here's a big boy, and he got himself stuck in one of the holes for air, and it looked pretty bad. I saw a little bit of blood, so I had to drop everything that I'm doing to take this animal that I wanted to humanely catch and release to the vet, a field mouse. And that was no difficult or easy task, because finding a wildlife vet, and that's what they're called, is a wildlife, is rather difficult. But I did. I found one in Ellicott City, Maryland. So it's about an hour away. So it was an hour drive and an hour back for this field mouse. I kid you not. But it was all worthwhile, because, you know, one of the things that you hear about these things on commercials, but you really don't know what to do. I mean, how do you help? You know, they seem so distant and hard to reach. Well, I met the lady today, Colleen. There we go. There we go. Holding a possum. And so now I've actually made a personal touch with someone who helps animals, and where I can send donations and things like that. And she included a wish list of things that she would like for her wildlife sanctuary. And surprisingly, it's wet wipes and dishcloths, things like that. So I'm going to stock her up on that when I go back, because we treated our little friend here today, and now he's recuperating. And when I see that he's eating well, I'm going to take him back to see if he's healthy enough to release. And in the meantime, I'm fixing that humane trap, and I'm going to do it with silicone, folks. So we're going to do all of that. So there's going to be a series, and we're going to stay busy for a while. So this is, tell you what, I'm going to show you a little bit about what I'm doing first. Do you want to see the greenhouse, how it's going to look? I draw everything by hand. I don't do the computer work. I do the computer work, but I seem to somehow, when I want to draw buildings and things like that, I hearken back to my younger days as a young boy when we actually sat at the big tables with the pencils and all that. And when I was a kid, boys learned how to do drafting. So I'm going to show you a little bit of that. So I drafted it up, and I think I can show you a little bit of what it's going to look like. All right, so just a minute. My germination room is the warmest. Okay, so here we have that. So this is the front view, and here are the polycarbonate panels. Okay, it's going to be a wooden frame. It's going to be bolted together. I'm going to cut the wood to the minimum thickness that I think I can get away with for the new global warming wind speeds of 60, 70 miles an hour. So I'm going to engineer for quite a bit more than that. And so there's that. I think I might have a side view so that you can see a little bit more. And I'll get closer on the camera, but I just wanted to go over a couple of things. We're going to go out and we're going to look. I've already started this part right here. I've already constructed this portion of the greenhouse. So we're going to go look at those in just a minute. Okay, but and then we have, here is, so if we look at my little drawing right here, now these plans I drew for me, they're quite busy. If I had been drawing these for a construction crew, we have to have things a certain way with the list of materials on every page, but these are a little bit different. But you can see from here what my intention is, and that is it's an A-frame greenhouse, polycarbonate panels, front and back. And it's going to be 10 foot wide, it's going to be 12 feet high. Now, given the incidence angle of the sun in winter, in my latitude, 24 degrees is optimal for me. And I want to make my greenhouse to fit the optimal winter angle. And I'm not going to so much worry about the summer angle because we're going to get way bunches in the summer. So I want to build my sun side for the optimal solar incidence. And so you saw me working on these, and I've got a more detailed plan we're going to see in just a moment. These are the base plates for this right here. And these are going to be shelves here. Space is so high. To here is 8 foot right here. So I'm going to put a 6 foot door that kind of rolls up in the back. It's going to be very cool. Solar panels here. We're going to get more into that. Here's my trom wall right here. It's going to be made with a stovepipes painted black filled with sand. And it's going to grow a tomato, I'll bet you. Now the side angle is a little bit, I didn't quite explain it yet, but it's going to be at an angle this way because the prevailing wind is in this direction, as you can see. Here's north and here is east. So this way. So what I want to do is I want to break the wind at the point right here so that I'm going to move wind across off the sides and off of the face. Now, given this length here and here, this is going to create a the lift like
airplanes have, where we're going to have a high pressure here and a low pressure here. So we're going to split this and we're going to break that wind, and it's going to sail through any windstorm coming. So there's the crazy idea on that. So let's see. Okay. And we have, to believe, a detail of the ridge here. So this is going to be where the 12-foot mark is, where the back side hits the ridge right here, but the front side, because of the incidence, is going to extend higher, and this is where I'm going to put the solar panels, right there in that space. And here's the ground plate that you saw me make today. And here's a little bit more of that front view that I held up for you. And here is the side again. It is going to be 14 foot at the top, 15 foot at the bottom. This is going to cut into the wind. This is the knife edge for the wind right here. This angle right here, plus the point that I showed you before. So it's going to be it's going to diffuse the wind very nicely. Not even going to feel it. And I do believe that's as far as I've gotten drawn so far. And I'll try to do a little bit more drawing, but I'll certainly do a lot more building because I need to get it done.
It's quite busy, but here we go. So I've got a 24-degree angle here, and I think that that's going to be the best angle that I can figure for my grow zone. And the reason for that is you want your glass or polycarbonate to be perpendicular to the angle of the sun, so that the sun meets the glass at 90 degrees. And at the worst time of the year, the coldest part of the year, the shortest sun days of the year, the sun is at 24 degrees. So that's where I'm going to angle that for that. That will allow the most sun penetration and heat. Now, being it's going to be an off angle other times of the year, that's going to serve as, you guessed it, deflecting some of that heat. So some of the design choices that you don't often hear, but for those who know me, I try to design things so that they are the most efficient, best choice, least expensive options for the task at hand. Now, this task at hand is going to be built for a 10-year lifespan. So the polycarbonate is not only a carefree choice due to winds, it's going to be an important choice going down the road, because I don't want to be resheeting this thing. So let's go take a look outside. First, let's go take a look, and folks, don't name him, her. He's only going to be here for a few days till he recuperates. So let's take a look at him. He likes to hide, though, I can tell you that. And I tell you, I had such a hard time getting him out of the trap. Really, the only thing that I could do was push his nose through the metal hole, and it hurt me so bad because I knew that he was jammed in there pretty good, which is why he was just hanging out. So, okay. So she left Neosporin in there for him. But, yes, this guy consumed my entire day. And we're going to redesign this humane trap as well. So she said I did the right thing. I gave him a piece of oatmeal cookies, and evidently that was the right thing for a mousy mouse. Okay, now let's go out and all right, about finished here, but what I've done is these are 2x4s, they're treated 2x4s, and I have glued one edge here, and of course laid them this way, and screwed them together. And to stagger the joints, I've taken 2 of them and I've cut them down to 6 foot. And then I've alternated them where 1 6 foot section would be on this end, and on this end, the 6 foot section is down there. That gives me a 2 foot overlap for strength and an overall length of exactly 14 feet, which is the flat side of the greenhouse, because the ends are going to be shaped like, well, diamonds or airplane wings for airflow. So you'll see. Okay, so I'm going to finish this up and then we're going to move on to building a frame. I need my gloves. Something didn't get moved. right, Dan. Check it out. You're gonna get this in here. I'm gonna get this in, and I'm gonna back it to the corner here. You can take her out of that pole so we can lay it here. Hopefully down that road.
What, were you laying against the fence?
No, out front of the fence, flat on the floor.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, they're very strong. This is the weakest one too. So okay down, and then, yep. No, let's bring this out. I want the other one inside here.
Okay.
And I want it to be a mirror of that. So actually we got, so you go that way, we got to completely turn around then.
Yeah.
Right there. Showing a mistake on camera. Let's see that looks good. It's got bad. Good again, they both have. We're strong. All right, thank you, sir.
Yep.
All right, folks, so the next part of the construction are going to be the frame that's going to hold up the polycarbonate sheeting. So what I have here are 2 by 6 by 12 foot, and I'm going to rip those in half. And the reason is because I want to make this with as little structure as possible to allow as much sun as possible with a minimum of shadowing, and also a minimum of material is going to allow for more sunshine to get in around the nooks and crannies. And so I'm going to rip them in half, and then I'm going to bolt them side by side. And that's going to give me the rigidity and the flex that I'm going to need for the high winds, should they ever happen. Okay, so I'm going to use one of these base plates here to dog this down while I rip it. And I have this, and I know you say it's way undersized, but my only other option is a handsaw. And even though I've done it, I don't want to. But I never really thought that I was going to get into a woodworking project this big again. I don't have a table saw anymore, but this is it's plenty to get it done. We just go slow. It's battery operated, and I've got more time than I do money. So let's get to going with that. This is number 2 pine, and it has a good many small knots. But the folks at Sunnycrest across the street have really taken care of me, and they've selected some beautiful pieces of number 2 pine for this project. Okay. So from the edge of the saw to the blade itself, it's 1.5 inches on this side. But to be very accurate, you want to account for the curve. So, and I have a video on that way back. But what I'm going to do is explain to you today is that when you take your measurements, you want to take half of the width of the blade. And the skill saw blade curve is, if this was a skinny one and it's not, this is 1/8 of an inch curve. So you want to add that 16 to your measurement to bring your blade out. And I think I've done that.
Okay, so what I'm doing here now is I'm lining up my saw blade right on my mark while it's squared to the board here that I'm using. And hold on. So I just want to make sure. Okay, has to be all the way down. Let's do this.